Welcome back, everybody, to the Climate Action Stage here today at COP as we focus on youth and youth empowerment. I'm pleased to welcome Eugenio Donadio, who is a Chief Impact Officer at Goodwill, who is going to introduce the rest of his panel. Thank you, Eugenio.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of including the voices of young people in the discussion and decision-making around climate change. And in order to do that, we're going to have a conversation with three different panelists. We're going to have Roberto, who is a climate leader in our community as Goodwill, but also in different other stages, and is also the Goodwiller of the Year on Sustainability for 2021. We have Wissam, that is a Global Director for initiatives like NextGen and the University Alliance at SAP. And we're going to have Gokul, who is also a youth climate leader, a climate activist, and the president of our Youth Council at Goodwill. To start and breaking the ice, we're going to be showing a short video regarding one initiative that we launched between Goodwill and SAP and a number of other partners that we're going to be using to talk through what we have done together with young people.
People know this or believe this, but yes, overfishing or by just fishing, we are adding factors to climate change. Do you know that commercial fishing causes whales to be endangered as well as underwater corals were damaged or worse, ruined?
Agrova deals on converting eggshells into animal feeds. The eggshells are sourced from local fast food joints and restaurants, even from individual users.
The idea is to use the cassava waste and the cow dung to produce biogas for heating and cooking for the community members. The slurry or waste from the biogas production will be used to produce biofertilizers for local farmers in the community.
One of the actions I take against climate change is to recycle my waste. Like for the plastic bottles that usually contains water or drinks. When I am done with the contents, I usually use them to store cooking items that are in liquid form. Like this one right here. This is Nigerian oil.
In our house, we practice the 3 R's: the reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Thank you. So the one that you saw is a very quick snapshot, basically, of what we have done together. And to give you an idea, I'm going to start explaining what Goodwill is. Goodwill is a mobile platform, is a social network that connects young people to opportunities for learning and earning. And we do this launching programs and initiatives like this one, together with partners that they have first of all, at the forefront of their priorities, the goal of supporting young people in their journey from the professional and personal development. And so we launch challenges, asking young people to take certain actions, and taking these kind of actions, they will develop certain kind of skills, like the one that you saw in this case. In this case, we launched a program called Climate Leaders that had the main aim of gathering the voices of young people and bringing them to COP27. And within this program, we created a big debate, collecting ideas, requests, demands, priorities from young people that were, in the end, summarized in a memorandum written also by the young people, and that we're sharing here at COP with a number of different partners. And along the way, we launched other 4 challenges that basically asked young people to take different actions on 4 different themes: sustainable technology, climate action, ecopreneurship, and climate mobility. so that they could also broaden the spectrum of their knowledge and understanding of different aspects of climate change, but also inform their opinion in these debates. So today we're here because we would like to talk about this experiment that we launched and that we want to bring forward in the future. And that's why we have 3 actors that really represent some of the most important components of this program. We have SAP that has been basically the one coming up with the idea and the vision beyond this program, and the 2 climate leaders that are participants in this program, along with hundreds of other young people, but they also have experienced what it means to become a climate activist through social media, through actions at community level in different ways. And so we're going to be asking about what has been their experience and what they see also in COP today. So I will start asking with some what has been the idea behind that brought you to think about this program, thinking about the need of bringing the voices of young people here today at COP, and why you approached Goodwill in that sense.
Absolutely, thank you, Eugenio. So basically, we hear a lot of participation of youth in global events, global initiatives, but they're not really creating content or co-creating content around climate change. So we thought through informal education channel, because we also work a lot with universities and schools worldwide, but we thought it might be better to really reach out to youth who might not be following, for example, formal education, right? So in a very informal and a friendly and engaging way through the platform that Goodwill had, we thought of reaching out to youth worldwide, capturing their thoughts, ideas, and then all this data to just really see what are the concerns that youth have worldwide, and then present them at global forums such as COP, and then also hopefully next year during COP28 in Dubai. So it's really for us very important to have youth voices, not only just to hear them, but also to co-create initiatives with other partners that we work with as well, with customers that we have at SAP as well.
That is great. And something that I would like also to mention is the fact that this program was also the output of a great collaboration between a number of different partners. On top of Goodwill and SAP, we also involved in the program UNDP, GIZ, the African Climate Mobility Initiative, the World Economic Forum, and a number of other partners that basically joined our cause of bringing the voices of young people to COP, and they added each one of them different kind of contributions, from learning content coming from the World Economic Forum to the possibility of being here today for some of the winners of this program that was brought by the African Climate Mobility Initiative, and the same for all the other different partners. And so trying to really create a cohesive experience for young people. And I wanted to ask to Roberto, as a participant to the program, one of the main outputs of this program was the memorandum that has been written by the young people with some of the priorities that for young people is important to bring to the attention of the world leaders here at COP27. So I wanted to ask Roberto if you can give us an idea of some of the points that were mentioned in this memorandum and the ones that for you are more important given your experience also as a climate activist.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eugene. Thank you to Goodwill and the partners for organizing this event and to give that voice to youth specifically, as you mentioned. And I just want to highlight and take this question to why youth voice is important, and not only at COP, because COP only happens once a year, and I think that's one of the main goals that youth have all the year and during all COPs, during the past COPs. So that's why social media content, that's why creating digital content in all platforms, but especially have a platform just focus on that. It's so cool and really important for youth around the world, because as I said, COP only happens once, but climate change and different problems around the world is happening every day. So just to have that platform to share and to be and highlight that, I think that's really, really important. And I think as a youth, from the world has been pushing the climate and sustainability agenda through many years. The fact to have this and being able to share the message to empower more people, I think that's one of the most important things. And not only through the one program, but to have like multiple different stages and different activities, and to create this amazing community, to have that background as a young activist, that's something that probably we don't talk that much, but it's really, really important.
Thank you, and I think it's very important also to talk about like the different stages. Now, not everybody starts from the same point where we're talking about climate change, but also in general in life for young people. Like there are people that are coming from with a certain kind of background, certain kind of education, etc., and others that start in different kind of situations. And what we are trying to do together is really like trying to level the playing field for youth globally, trying to give the same kind of opportunities, make them accessible for everybody. And I wanted to ask to Gokul in this sense, because you have been very active in this COP. Like both Roberto and Gokul, they have a lot of speaking sessions in these days. They are very busy because they are incredible young leaders in their community, but they also bring in together a lot of people from different backgrounds, etc. And I wanted to ask Gokul, what has been your experience in becoming also a climate leader, and what would you recommend also to young people that are like interested in this topic and they would like to do more at their community level, but also at more global level, like you're doing today?
Thank you. Thank you, Eugene. So thank you to Gulbar and everyone here who joined us, everyone online. Thank you so much for coming. So I'm Gokul and I'm from India, and I'm from like a local community over there. My journey to becoming a climate leader started with joining Goodwall. Something like I did like 6 or 7 years before, like yeah. So it started from there. Like I joined Goodwall. There was a really good community, like a WhatsApp groups and everything, and we used to like engage with all of them. We used to post our achievements. We used to like engage with this video challenges they gave us. So it was like a TikTok for like developing ourselves, a TikTok which we used to develop ourselves. So it was really hard for us to like do our first videos, something like this you guys saw. It was really hard for us to do our first videos, making our voice come out of ourselves. It was something hard, and Goodwall did that for us. They did a good job to make us all express ourselves, come out of our comfort zone and come out with our voices, and it was really awesome. Then I like met a lot of people around the world. So with Goodwall, I have a friend in every country in the planet right now. That is something I'm so proud of. Thank you so much, Goodwall. And yeah. So I met some of the climate leaders like Marie Claire, etc. from Goodwall. So yeah, we used to like talk, and because Goodwall gave us a platform, we could talk and like share our ideas. So like last year, COP26 was happening in Glasgow, and she told me like you could come. It'll be a great opportunity to like see around everything, and yeah, so I said yes, and I just went there. It was my first COP, and it was really like a lot to take in, and yeah, it was really great. And so like really great young people over there who was doing really good, awesome job. And something I realized from that is that every young person or every person has a unique perspective for climate, and you should like take that outside of yourselves so that you can give something new to the planet, like something new or something like a new perspective for climate action, because everyone is talking about solutions, and we need like more voices comes out. It comes together to make some new solution which is more sustainable, because the more inclusive you become, the more sustainable you are. So something that I learned from the COP. So also like from the COP I got a great idea for a medicinal plant, something like that, because I got an opportunity to come to COP. Because of that, I got a great idea. So I just went back home and I built a platform on that, and it is featured on the Youth for Action COP27. In that page, the story is featured. So it happened because I got to Goodwall, I came to COP, and I got to like experience everything. So it is like important to bring young people or new perspectives or new views to like the COP, or like give them voice more, something like that. And also, like what I learned from Goodwill is that we as young people, we went to like ask them, Goodwill, can you help us create a community? We wanted to like bring up the youth voice, and they said yes, sure, we can. And they helped us create the Goodwill Youth Council. And something which is wonderful, I think I want to say about is that we use the platform to bring young people from around the world. Around the world, we have like lot of not lot of meeting, like a monthly meeting happening every month, like last Friday. So Goodwill joins, and like everyone from around the world joins at a particular time. We speak about how local problems they are having, climate actions they do, and have some really good fun. And that's the main part. We have some fun, we bond each other, and also we like develop ourselves. So most of the people ask me like, now, how do you go to COP? How did you do this? How do you do that? And something I would like to recommend is that you guys young people around the world should like join us on that like Goodwill platform. Something which you can like everyone, sorry, so something like young people can like get help on developing themselves. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Gokul. And I think working with young people is really like different from working in a lot of different sectors. And I think I really recommend if you have the chance to visit the youth pavilion within the Blue Zone at COP, because you can really feel the difference in terms of the kind of energy that is felt there at the pavilion, because the young people are really there, like talking, working together, creating new ideas, creating innovation, much more also sometimes than all the other pavilions that surround them. And I think that's a very easy way of seeing this kind of difference. But that doesn't always happen by itself. Like you also need the help of strong allies, and SAP, for instance, is one of these ones. And that's something I wanted to ask you about, Wissam, because of course we know that SAP has a strong interest in supporting young people, especially in terms of their education, both in formal and non-formal environments, and helping them in their professional development. But SAP goes also beyond that, like in supporting initiatives like this one and others that go beyond just mere sphere of education and the creation of workforce, but it's really like trying to foster innovation and like propel the efforts of young people. So I wanted to ask you, why is this important to SAP in particular, and why do you think this should be an approach that should be more like mainstream across the sector?
Yeah. So as one of the biggest B2B, not B2B, like a business software solutions, we have a great opportunity for businesses to track their, for example, carbon emissions, and track their entire chain, value chains, to understand how much emissions are being made, right? So that you can control climate change and contribute to corporate sustainability. And youth have a very big part of that, because youth will not only consume technology, but they're going to also produce technology. So it's very important to work with youth at the very early stage, from high schools, from universities, or through informal, let's say, education or complementary education, to make sure that they understand how they can leverage technology to create those great solutions to our planet. So it's very important for us to find the right partners of customers and partners, education institutions, UN agencies, that we can all work together with youth and co-create solutions for our planet.
Fantastic, thank you. And in terms of like these solutions, actually, this brings me very well to a question for Roberto. Roberto, in one of your posts on the program, you talked about you asked young people to be part of the solution and not part of the pollution. So can I ask you, what do you mean by that?
Yes, absolutely. So you have already mentioned, I think these solutions, and specifically on that comment, is to generate all solutions every day. Because being part of the pollution does not only mean to consume and to have a negative impact on the environment, but also in our communities, in small communities, in schools, in your place, the work that you work, and, to have a positive impact is not only on the environment, but also to impact others. So that detonates and it also have an impact of the environment. So it doesn't have to have like this direct impact, but you can impact other people by your testimony, but what are you doing? And I think that it's what Goodwill also reflects, in other social media platforms, and why these spaces, like this conversation, are so important. For example, Goodwill it's been being part of the solution, not polluting. Because having these conversations with young people and the responsibles of the platform to generate that communication channel that can solve the problems that not only young people are having, but also the platform will face thanks to climate change and communication and the different use. And that communication channel is the opportunity and the chance to have different partners. And they say, there's already a conversation, so I can join that conversation and I can also help to generate solutions. So specifically, I will say that generate solutions to be disruptive, to be different, to think different. That's part of being part of the solution. In general, youth are really, really innovative, so disruptive. But this generation has like a unique thinking. But next generation, it's really, really amazing. I think about 5, 6, 7-year-old people are so radical, and that radicalness, for example, platforms, any social media platform or any business, have to take that uniqueness and to translate it into new platform or new challenges, new ways. So that I think it's going to be really interesting too.
Thank you very much. I think, that's very interesting indeed. And I think we work as a vessel, basically, in trying to really convey the voice of young people, but also put them in touch with the opportunities like the ones that organizations like SAP provide for young people. And that is really like the environment that allows young people to thrive. But on top of that, what we have seen that is very important is also inspiration, like seeing either like personalities that you can relate to or good examples that can give you an extra push to really take steps forward. And so I wanted to ask Gokul if you have any particular climate leaders, young people that you in particular admire or that helped you in your development of your journey, and somebody that you maybe would recommend for people to follow, and why is that?
Okay, so for me it was Marie Claire, who was like really helping me out with everything, and she was really awesome as well. I have made a video for particularly for her. Like a challenge was there in Goodwill, like who do you like inspire from? So I have a video on Goodwill about all that, like how she is so like important, how she is now doing something like youth negotiator program, which she's developing with Hita and everyone. She was the focal point last time with Fianco, and yeah, she's really doing a great job, and she's someone I really admire as well. So, so if you told me like who do I recommend? So from my side, I would recommend her, but from a really good big perspective, I would like to say that focus on those people who are starting out right now, who are trying to bring up their voices right now, because following them, you will also understand how can you or your voice be taken out from you as well. Those people who are doing some TikToks, maybe some small actions, maybe in small innovation or something like that. Follow those guys, help them out, learn from them, so that you also can do better. And also don't blindly follow them. It's always the new perspective. So be yourself, learn from these people, and I will think you'll do best from this. So be yourself. That's something I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Gokul. That was really inspiring, actually. So I wanted to ask Wissam, because something that we are seeing nowadays is the fact that young people have to deal with a lot of different challenges, like climate change, the COVID crisis, financial recessions in a lot of countries and everything. And this really forces them to having to rely on different kind of skills, but also different kind of pathways. There is not like one path from when you're 15 to when you're 75 anymore. Very often young people have to really build their own new path and sometimes change it as they go, like passing from entrepreneurship to employment to education, etc., and juggling all of that. And I wanted to understand from SAP, for your experience, for instance, the Next Gen program, but also beyond that, how can a company like SAP, for instance, help young people in this journey and like building the skills they need in order to be able to be resilient towards this pathway?
Absolutely. So when we really speak about the required skills nowadays, it's not only technical skills. Of course, as a big technology company, we have our own software, our own technical skills that are required. But then the soft skills are even as important, or maybe even more important, right? And such forums and learning opportunities, for example, COP, or when we also were there at Expo 2020 in Dubai, it's really unique experiences for youth to come and learn. And again, back to perspectives, their unique perspective, because everyone can contribute to the success of a company from their own point of view, and they have always something new to add. We wouldn't really hire people to tell them what to do, right? They have to come in and bring their own ideas, and we definitely support youth to do some changes within our organization. And having various programs, like graduate programs, internship programs, we just make sure that we hire people from different backgrounds, from different educational background as well, not only from formal schools or universities, but also from, for example, coding schools, just to make sure that when you're building or co-creating the next big thing in technology, you have really diverse perspectives.
Great. And in terms of like bringing these skills to use, Roberto, yesterday we were talking about the fact that COP is being a very good conducive environment for especially local actions and local leaders to come together. And I know that you have a great experience in terms of also mobilization at local level. And I want to understand from your point of view, like what is the role that a big event like COP can have in really pushing forward also not just the global policy, but also nurturing what are the local-based solutions, local-based actions that really can make a big difference and can change the lives also of the young people that can take advantage of the opportunities like the ones that Wissam was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really love that question because there's a change that we probably see, but there's also a change that we won't be able to see. Like there's a change happening, and I do get this in my imagination where, there's a lot of volunteers from Egypt and from the local cities here, but the fact that they're having this experience to communicate, to see, to hear what the other people from all over the world are doing, or their recommendation, their talks, that's, at least for me, also sharing the buzz is really inspiring because you hear a lot of conversations. So for example, there each latitude, like each country is different, have like different problems related to ocean, related to energy, related to waste, and youth have to take that message and make their own and empower that. So as Gokul and Wissam were saying, we need to impose new voices. It's important to highlight the voices that we already built because they have a powerful message in a platform, a powerful platform, but also to impose and create new platforms and have these platforms for new voices. And those voices have to be diverse. We need to have inclusion. We need to have diversity in all those voices, and not only activism in climate, but also in jobs, in partnerships. Make sure that if you own a company or you work for a company, you look for that in every partnership or alliance that you're building in, because it's really important to really, you see the results. If you have measure impacts, if you have any kind of report, you will see that it's not like a message, it's a reality that if you take all those little things, you create something beautiful and start working. So I think that's really, really important. And just as you mentioned, COP, it's really a unique space. It's a controversial space because it's always the different host city. It's always a different problematic. And each time we're reaching closer to 2030 and the climate emergency, and there's a lot of negotiations. There are people from different backgrounds, from countries, from NGOs, from different backgrounds, and to come all together and have this discussion and see and hear, to visualize. That's also really important, to visualize each other. I think that's also a powerful message. And the thing here is to take all those little things and to replicate it back when we get back to our countries or back to our platform, to say, oh, there are Nigerian voices, there are Ghanaian voices, there are Latin American voices. And I think some people couldn't see the video at the beginning, but that's something that, for example, Goodwill is pushing, or I can mention other platforms, but it's not his panel. They can invite us to other panel with one. But for example, TikTok or Facebook, they have like this beautiful platform to in really, really powerful message. So they empower small creators, and that's how you keep that audience, because you're giving give them the space, giving the platform. So to take that message and reply it, it's something unique. And as I mentioned, it's to take it to your school, to take it to your job, to take it to your country and see how you can do it. That's what will be done in Mexico. From last COP, COP26, we start working with a youth program called the pre-COP session. So it just happened at 26, and we started from the next week that COP26 happened. We started a youth program that was pre-COP for this COP. So each month we have a permanent campaign. So we have 12 COPs, and a permanent campaign allows people to join, hear different message from different people, to not only see the diverse, but also hear and feel that diversity, and come to these spaces and exploit it the most possible.
I'll just add to Roberto, because we mentioned a lot of diversity, and you can see there's male presence on the stage. It's unfortunate that the female participant couldn't make it to COP as of now, but they were going to be with us tomorrow. But as you could see from the video, we had amazing ideas coming, of course, from male and female across the continents. And so this is very important as well, to make sure that we have a gender balance.
I would like to add something more as well. So he said like giving a message is something really important. But for me as well, with a message, we should like empower, make their connect with their hearts. Something which is so important for us to do as well, because if we are giving a message and the message just reaches, it gives them an idea, but they doesn't wanted to really break their comfort zone, come out, do something, make a video. It's something really hard for the young people, whoever I talk through. In the monthly meetings in the youth council, everyone says that it's really hard to start out, or we really wanted to do, but it doesn't comes out. It's really hard. So we wanted there should be something emotional support as well for young people to express themselves in feel in a big crowd. So for them to come out and express their feelings also is really important.
Thank you, Gokul. And very good point about the diversity with Sam. In fact, in the program we had participants from 55 different countries all around the globe, and we had a 60% participation in young women compared to a 40% participation of young men. As Wissam mentioned, we were supposed to have 2 young participants, also young ladies, today in this panel. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it in time with the flights and everything, and that's why we're all men today. But I wanted to ask you, beyond this program, like going forward, what are your plans to continue on the path as we started today with some?
Absolutely. So I guess there's a big movement around engaging youth worldwide to be part of the discussion, and not just to invite them just, as a, an added kind of thing. No, just to start from the beginning, to hear their voices, hear their perspectives, and see what you could do and co-create something original with them. So I guess this is a global movement that we're part of, and we're very glad to be with Goodwill and amazing partners as well. And there's lots of opportunities and forums where you could bring those youth voices and make sure that they're heard. And not only they're heard, it's just like some of their ideas can be also implemented through various initiatives. So this is a continuous journey that wouldn't end.
Yes, absolutely, and we're going to be together in this journey. I wanted to check if there is any questions from the audience, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Islam. I'm a nutritionist. I'm also an activist, Italian, London-based, and now even in Egypt. I came earlier just to engage with the young people, and I wanted to ask to you, all of you, because you're working with young people, have you ever been disappointed? I mean, have you ever found any opposition from young people that was not originated by misperception or misinformation? I mean, once you have those young people with you and the origin of this confusion is not coming from those two places, have you ever been disappointed? And if not, would you be saying that investing in the young people because of this radical behavior and attitude is the best partnership that someone should be looking for sustainability matters?
I would like to start maybe with Roberto or Goku. Like, since you live in the debates between young people, etc. Like, do you ever encounter this kind of like different opinions, conflict sometimes, like in a positive and constructive way? Like, and what is the outcome usually?
Yes, absolutely. I think the best example for this year is not to have Greta Thunberg here, because there's a lot of conversation behind and saying, from a youth in a youth perspective, you see there's a lot of critique about the COP planning, like how it was planned, and a lot of discussion about that. So just to focus in that, for example, I see a lot of young people from different backgrounds, from different communities, that they risk their life by exposing a message, not specifically climate or different gender, different messages in their communities, and they don't have these platforms. That's why, again, having a virtual, in-person, or mixed platform is so important, because we need to empower those voices and find a way to empower those voices. So again, the fact that she is not here, having this amazing and big platform, having millions of funding and not generating solutions, because if the problem was the COP, then take all the youth to another city of the world that you can choose. You have the money, you have the resources. Let this COP without youth. Take all the youth of the world and take it where you want it. And I'm sure they will follow your messaging, they will follow your platform, but you're not generating solutions, So the invitation is to be critic, but to generate solutions. So I think that's the main difference, not only with Greta, but also other activists. And as I said, to not give the space to allow new voices, to allow that diversity, and just to keep in one representative, or to keep, I think that's wrong. And as I mentioned before, I think that will be part of the next generation being so radical and saying, next. So we have to take care of that message. We need to take care of our investment, for example, for companies to say, how do I care that investment? Invest in youth is never lost. It's never lose money. It's never a lost investment, because you empower youth and they will be the future leaders. They are now the future leaders. So just to say that, just to discuss, to be diverse, to hear and visualize each other, I'm sure we can generate solutions. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess really no one owns the climate change agenda, right? It's a very democratic process. It's a global movement, and everyone can contribute with their unique ideas and thoughts around it. and I think it enriches the conversation when you have conflicting ideas or a little bit of tension. It's a learning experience, and we should not shy in inviting various voices, even if they don't really get along, because that's where the conversation becomes intense, interesting, and then a common ground will be found to make it really a good solution, a sustainable solution.
So I would like to say that it's really important to like have that as well, like some conflicts as well. It is because we are innovating and we wanted to make solutions happen. So if we have like different radical ideas, we wanted like someone like something or someone to bring that together. Something which each idea is unique and it has some like pros and cons, each idea. So if we could like, it's like youth voice have the like we need to like make sure that they feel like they are included, but also make sure that they doesn't like bring up with some radical ideas or radical things. Yeah, so it's something like who manages it all. It comes to them. So as a young leader, if I'm like I mostly try to like give the voice to them so that they can see what happens if the idea is implemented or anything. So that is something I can also learn from that. He can also learn from that, and everyone watching also can learn from that. So if possible, give some space for that radical idea, and we all learn. Something like that we try to implement. So yeah, that's something I would like to say. If it's like a really big decision or something like that, we try to like what is our perspective and discuss among ourselves with diverse voice, and then we come to a conclusion. So that person who writes that idea should also feel, yeah, my voice was included. Yeah, something like that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I say, from our point of view, if you never hear a critical feedback, is because you're not listening. Because any kind of important initiative will have different kinds of point of views and different kind of adjustments required along the way. And so it's really important that diversity of thoughts and representation in order to be able to really keep listening at all times in order to adjust the journey as you go. That's why we created the Youth Council, for instance, in Goodwill, because we want to hear those voices and also those criticism. It's normal, it's part of the way, also because the environment in which we work, and especially when we're talking about climate change, is dynamic. It's not always the same. Things are changing, dynamics are changing, the attitude of different stakeholders are changing, and that's why we have to keep adapting. And without having that kind of dissent sometime, flagging that things are not going the right way, you wouldn't be able to actually follow the right path along the way. I think we have time for maybe one last question. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello. Thank you so much, Roberto, Goku, especially. My name is Nina, and I come from South Africa. And I have also worked with young people around amplifying their voices. What is very interesting to me in that work is that young people bear a huge responsibility to understand the complexity, to manage the emotional and community feedback and impact of how our world is changing and advocating for change. And I'm also very aware that while climate leaders and community leaders, young ones, are spreading the message of enrollment for climate action, we also in the Global South sit with very high inequality, rising unemployment for young people. In South Africa, our unemployment for youth is 64%. And South Africa has been declared the most unequal country in the world by the World Bank this year. So when we are talking about opportunities for youth, they are some of us who can connect, spread our messages, be resourced and empowered by organizations like Goodwill. But do you also face the other way to ask and demand for the kind of financing that requires training, and skills for a green economy, for how, as we transition away from coal, our realities, our job realities are going to change. How are we preparing young people to deal with this, to be educated for this, to connect and mobilize for those kinds of changes? Besides for the very strong and important individual and community actions that you all are advocating for. And thank you for that.
Oh, just to be right on time. Yes, you know, we call that climate latitudes because of geographical latitudes. There are different things, same problem, different ways to face it, different ways that is affecting each country. So the way that we approach to that problem, it depends on the situation that's happening around. That's why the latitude, geographical latitude is so important. Socially, economically, politically, the environment, and you know, just also to be right in time. I think we have to take it, and that's why I said, if this generation, if we don't do nothing specifically, next generation are not going to have this panel. They won't even accept the invitation. They are radical, and they have reasons. They have why to, you know, the background of why they are radical and why are they being radical. So I think that's the answer. If we are the face of the youth now, we need to generate solutions. We need to put the message and to generate solutions. But if we fail, next generation, and this will be completely different. So you can imagine how everything will be from different climate latitudes.
Yeah, it is something like we are all really frustrated about. That's why we have the right to be radical. Yeah, we have the right to be radical. So from, sorry, I just forgot all the question that just said. Yeah, so, sorry, can you repeat the questions more?
It's okay. No, it's about the importance of also like demanding for also the funding of these opportunities for the young people. And maybe before we pass it again to Gokul, I just wanted to hear quickly from Wissam as one of the organizations that actually is making an effort in providing these opportunities, also from the financial point of view as well, which is a burden, but it's also an investment.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has a role to play in this, right? From government to private sector to academic institutions. So we all have to work together. I love Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals, because we're not going to be able to solve any of those big problems individually, right? Or from a one lens or from one perspective. And these are investments in our youth and in our sustainability for the future. So for SAP, we have various initiatives across, for example, Africa, Skills for Africa, in Latin America, there's UNICEF partnerships, so all these kind of initiatives, and they all focus on education, because that's the most important. We have to really start from foundation education with keeping an eye on lifelong learning as well, because we need to tackle this throughout, you know, the whole spectrum.
Okay, so yeah, I just got remembered your question. So, I speak to young people around the world like every month, last Friday, and most people ask me like, how can I get this opportunity? And one of the things, like museums for UN, they have something over here, like the setups here. So I went there yesterday, and I connected with youth from, I think it was from Israel or something. The first thing they asked me was, what is it in for me if I join the climate movement? And I was like, it's something like you help focus for the planet, like help the planet out. We all live a better life and everything. So said, yeah, I can support you, but what's in it for me? It's something big question I had like think on, like what should I give them a reply? So something I would like to say is that we as youth need help from you guys in getting better education as well on how we could decide. That's why we have youth negotiator program and everything that we are coming up right now. So education is a key, and also the inclusion of all these voices as well. So radical idea with education, and somewhat helping them with their radical ideas is also great, because we also helps us understand, and also they also feel like they are included. Radical ideas are also great. It's out of the box, and once we can help them implement that, that's something big for them as well as for us. Learning is a key for everyone, and we are still learning.
Very good point, Gokul. It's education is important, but also awareness of the impact of this kind of education, of this kind of action, is key to see for everybody, their own personal investment in what we're trying to achieve.
Yes.
And thank you. I think we ran out of time, unfortunately, so we're not going to have time for other questions. But I wanted to close thanking, first of all, our panelists here today. This was a very interesting conversation. Thank you, Wissam, Roberto, and Gokul. And I wanted to thank also Kite Insights and all the different partners that allow us to be here today. Thank you very much, and have a nice COP.
Please, everybody, also join me in thanking Eugenio for moderating.